Hello Aquarius, welcome. This is Taurus Tarot and I'm Joy, and we are getting an energy read for you, Aquarius. Okay, what is the energy for Aquarius? What is important for Aquarius to know right now is what we're asking. What is important for Aquarius to know right now? Some things that were coming in as I was doing the pre-shuffle was like I need to be softer. I need to be a little bit softer. And whatever that means for you. I'm feeling that it's more in like the area of emotions and being able to express your emotions. So initially I was asking, is there also a message for Aquarius about truth and feeling and speaking truth? And because that's kind of what had been coming in for other signs, is just kind of a lot of like this air energy, a lot of swords coming through, a lot of speaking truth coming through, a lot of being fearless, being brave, yeah, kind of coming in. And so I asked if that was the same for you, and it was no. It was, and then the word softer came through. So something softer for you, and kind of in relation to truth. So maybe it is still about speaking your truth, but perhaps about finding ways to communicate that truth with a little softer edge. So maybe not being so direct, and being a little bit more no, I think direct is good actually, but just being a little bit more considerate about how it comes through. Okay, so what we have here is the Seven of Wands, the Hermit, the Seven of Swords, and the Nine of Wands. Okay, so I'm still definitely feeling this softer energy for you. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting that there's two sevens, so that there's the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Wands. And I do usually feel sevens as kind of like an energy that is like moving into abundance. It's kind of you've come out of transformation, you've moved through building after that transformation, and it's kind of almost this feeling of being in a space of allowing the abundance to come in now. Like all the groundwork is set and all the abundance is going to come in now. There's this little heart here sticking out, like kind of making itself known for this Seven of Swords. And it almost looks as if all of those other swords are kind of piercing this heart that this one sword here on the side is kind of cradling. And so it almost feels as if there's some protection up for you, as far as like feeling like maybe your heart was broken and now needing to protect yourself in and the Seven of Swords is an interesting card, right? Sometimes I get this feeling of protection, of protecting yourself sometimes, or protecting others, or protecting something that's important to you, protecting an idea, something like that. But sometimes I also do get this feeling of a sneakiness and getting away with something. But right now this card is kind of talking about like protecting yourself. And it's funny because it did fall out next to this to the Nine of Wands, which is like the wounded warrior, sort of, you know. The Nine of Wands is kind of this, also this idea of like you've been through it all. You've experienced quite a few things that have knocked you down more than a few times, and you're almost kind of like in this recovery period of trying to get it all together and trying to take all of that information of the challenges and being knocked down and put it all together and make some kind of sense of it. But I'm hearing that you, before you can really make some sense of it, that there's this protection that you have to be aware of, that maybe you're not really conscious of. But I feel like there's this you've put this casing around your heart, almost this metal casing around your heart, so that nothing can really penetrate it. And that's kind of the energy that you're in, that you feel like you've had to be in order to protect yourself. But there's also this feeling that like you have to let that painful stuff in order to be able to process it, because you can't just bury it or pretend it didn't happen or ignore it. You have to really be able to acknowledge it, and then, because it's always going to be a part of you, right? You can't just like dismiss it as nothing and wish it gone. It's always going to be a part of you. And now the question is it going to be a conscious part of you, something that you're conscious and aware of, that you work with, and that can support you with, you know, having had that knowledge and experience? Or is it something that is gonna like only sneak up in your subconscious and kind of sabotage you know, the good things that come your way, right? So that's kind of like seems to be the primary question for you right now. It's about understanding that shadow side of ourselves and holding it within us, but transmuting it so that that energy does not manifest itself in a way that is destructive for us, or moves us in, or keeps us from moving in the direction that we want to move in. Instead, it's about harnessing that energy but transmuting it into something that allows you to be propelled into the direction that you want to go in. Okay, that's coming through really strong with these two cards. And there is going to be this period of in order to sort of reconcile this energy of feeling the need to protect yourself, and feeling acknowledging the pain that you might be feeling, and how it is affecting you. It's really going to be important to kind of go into hermit mode for a little while. It's going to be really important to use this energy to explore those feelings that you're having, and be able to transmute them and then hold them in the light rather than suppress them in the dark. Okay, that's going to be really important for you. And again, this Seven of Wands energy is really just this energy of protecting yourself as well. But so you know, the Six of Wands is kind of more of this like victory card, right? But I'm kind of feeling this in this card too. And you know, the cards, they kind of progress, right? So there is some victory energy left over in this Seven of Wands also. And I think that's going to be really important for you, because what it's saying is that that it is going to be a victory for you. It is something that is going to evolve you into a stronger, more conscious, more aware being, but it is going to take a little bit more work. It's not going to be an easy victory. It's not going to be something that is going to be easy, and it is going to feel like I kept hearing like you're going to have to summon the energy for it. You're going to have to summon the passion and summon the fire to go through this, because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be it's going to require a lot of focus, a lot of thought, a lot of introspection, a lot of re-feeling some pain, but it's doable. It is doable for you. It is going to happen. I see that. I keep feeling this victory energy from the card, because I feel like you see there's this circle in the back, and then it has like the little ribbons, and it's really like bringing up for me like when you get a certificate like in elementary school, right? You know, like you're the student of the month or something like that. There's like this gold seal ribbon on the certificate that just is kind of like makes it a little bit more special, you know. And I'm really feeling that from this card. Like there's this energy of so it's not so much like the Six of Wands where it's like victory, where you know, you're marching in on a horse in a parade and people are around you cheering. It's not like as big as that. This is something that is going to be kind of like a victory that you celebrate on your own. It's not necessarily something that is going to bring a whole lot of acknowledgement, sort of, in a egoistic way, but in a way that is like this is confirmation that that you've done this hard work, and that you've come through it, and that you're benefiting from it, and that you know, you've succeeded. But it is in this almost like quiet way where not everybody is going to acknowledge the gravity of what you went through, but then that this is for just for you to know, right? It's not like a big party and everything like that, that a big awareness, a big acknowledgement of this challenging thing that you've overcome, that everybody recognizes, but for you are going to recognize it as something very powerful and meaningful for you, that allows you to be in a place of like pride for, you know, having worked through those really challenging things, and having come out of it with yourself intact, sort of your true self intact, without having to have built any walls to protect yourself, with having actually let those walls go, and still being able to remain vulnerable even though you experienced some kind of hurt. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what it is. And it's like this softer energy that that I was feeling is something that really needs to be given to yourself, sort of, right? It's not I was kind of misinterpreting it as you, because you know, thinking of you as Aquarius as being someone who speaks their truth easily. I was feeling that it was that you needed to be softer in communicating to others, but I think what it is really that Spirit is asking you to be softer to yourself, like to give that softness to yourself, to not be too cruel and hard in the way that you're processing this challenging thing that you're going through, but in a way that like is soft and nurturing and allowing and understanding. You know, like give yourself that, like allow yourself to be nurtured through this processing, to be kind to yourself through this processing of difficult energy that you're going through. Okay, all right, Aquarius, that's what it is for you. you know, so some challenge, but some challenge that you're definitely going to work through and be better for having done it. Okay, and you know, that's always a good thing. All right. Okay, Aquarius, much love to you, much support to you. Aloha and namaste.